Welcome to Midlife Confidential, the brand new podcast where we prove you're not the only one Googling, is this normal? I'm Jenny.
And I'm Julie, and we're so excited to be here. Our very first full episode, Jenny.
Yay!
Woo! This might be the most exciting thing this midlifer has done in a really long time. Probably for you too, Jenny.
Yep.
All right, midlifers. If you didn't catch our first episode explaining what we're doing here, you should go back and listen. We had a really good time.
We really did. We really did. But because you're not going to go back and listen, we're going to sum it up for you quickly here. So, we are polling our midlife community on topics that we think are of interest to you. So think things like sex, spending habits, Botox, all those things that you want to know if other people are thinking or doing, but understandably, you might not feel comfortable asking about openly. So we are asking the hard questions. You respond anonymously, and then we share the data and the insights here on our podcast. And the beauty here is that you can be truthful because it's always anonymous when you respond. We don't know who you are, and frankly, we don't care. Our hope here is that we're going to bust some myths and potentially help people realize that they're not the only one, who may have bought like a 6-month subscription to a mushroom drink on Instagram because it said it would reduce bloating.
Oh man, this sounds like something I need, Jenny. Instagram, Google, Siri, serve me up. I'm ready. I'm a marketer's dream. I'm kidding, kind of.
Actually, it's not worth it, Julie, because I'm still bloated.
Damn it. Damn it. Okay, well that's okay because our listeners have no idea that you're wearing sweats. You could have anything on under there for all we know.
Yeah, or nothing at all.
Hmm. All right. On that note, let's get into it. Today, we're bringing you data from our very first poll. How much sex are you having? First, thank you, listeners. Everybody who took the survey. I can't believe the amount of people that jumped on this, Jenny.
Yeah, me neither. We are like legit statistically sound here.
We really are. And it just validates for us that people really want to know this stuff,
Mhm.
or they feel really bad for us and they just took pity on us. But whatever. I don't have an ego. You don't have an ego.
Nope,
We'll take
we're
it.
good.
We'll take
Yes.
it. We need the data.
Yep, we do.
All right. So let's spill the tea on how much sex people are really having. And then something I was super curious about is how much sex do people think other people are having?
Yes, that's the good stuff. All right, but first we're going to do some numbers. We're going to share just basic demographic information so you know who we're talking about. So we'll get into the numbers. The majority of you who responded are between the ages of 41 and 50 at 73%. After that, 14% of you are between 31 and 40, 6% are between 51 and 60, and then 7% for some reason did not specify their age. That's okay. Gender, not shockingly, we're mostly female, coming in at 90% with 10% male.
Come on, dudes. We need you. Show up, please.
I know. We got to work on them. Marital status. So most are married, coming in at 90%. We then have 7% as divorced and 3% in a relationship. Children. The majority of you have kids. 91% have children. And then lastly, sexual orientation. So almost all identified as heterosexual, not all, but close to at 97%. So we are a bit of a homogeneous crowd, but we're new, we're still getting started, and we'd really love to see some more diversity as we grow. Okay, so that is who we heard from.
So basically, so basically straight married moms.
Yep.
What a shocker. What a shocker.
Yes.
Okay. We then asked people to tell us how much sex they were having. All right. So for people 40 and over, most of you are getting it on a few times a month. Okay. Let's dive in. 40% are having sex 2 to 3 times a month. 27% are having sex once a week. And 25% less than once a month.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's in terms of frequency. For people under 40, these guys are having a good time.
Ugh, to be young.
I know, I know. The numbers shifted a bit with the majority having sex once or more than once a week. So 77% are having sex once or more than once a week. 22% 2 to 3 times a month. All right. So I'm going to stop right there for a second. Let this digest and sit there. Jenny, does this surprise you?
No, no, it does not surprise me. I think the rumors are true. So the older we get, sounds like the less sex we're having.
Mm, yeah, and I'd kind of be curious to know the delta between low 40s and late 40s because this is where I hear from a lot of women that all the perimenopause stuff really kicks into high gear. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention to our listeners that I fall into that second group. That's right, midlifers. I'm not only taller, I'm also older than Jenny. Womp womp. Anyway, in fact, my daughter asked me this morning, oh my God, if I had to wash my clothes in a brook when I was a kid. So
Oh.
I
That's cute.
know, I know, I know.
Oh.
Can't get away from it. Anyway, all right. So now let's look at the perception versus reality, which is where we think things get really interesting. There seems to be a significant sexpectation gap.
Expectation. That is brilliant, Julie.
I know, it is. I love it, but I can't claim credit. It's actually a real word.
Oh.
I know. Who knew? Okay. So for people 40 and over, which was the majority of our responses, many of you, a whopping 63%, think your peers are having sex once or multiple times per week,
Hmm.
which is more than double the percentage of reality. So, Jenny, a wise one, what do you think that's all about?
I think it's simple. I think it means that everyone is a filthy liar. No, I'm just kidding. I think the truth is that no one is bragging about how they and their partner are like running on fumes. I think this assumption that like everyone is having so much sex or everyone's having
Mm,
more sex than we are just comes from a place of vulnerability because it's human nature to constantly be measuring ourselves against what I think is this curated public ideal.
yeah, 100%. And when we look at other couples, whether it's friends or neighbors or, just randos online, we never see the full picture. And I know this is nothing new. We see anniversary posts, we see vacation getaways, weekend getaways, and these are all the quote unquote markers of a functional, successful relationship. And I think we all often um, unconsciously, subconsciously link that perceived success to a vibrant sex life.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're totally right. Like, just because someone posted a picture of them going out to some romantic and anniversary dinner in the city, like, doesn't necessarily mean that they're boning at the end of the night, right?
But they might be.
They might be, but they might not be. I can think of a
Yeah.
million reasons where things might have like turned the corner halfway through the night, and so
Yeah.
and actually our research brought up a term that I had never heard before, but it helped me understand this a bit more, and it's called the spotlight effect. And so what it means is when we feel insecure or just unsure about something, in this case our sex life, our attention is drawn to every single piece of evidence that seems to contradict our own experience. So basically, we hyper focus on the exception and we perceive that as the norm.
Interesting. The spotlight effect. I feel like that could apply or probably does apply to so many different facets
Definitely.
of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So while our poll data might not be a huge surprise to people, we really hope that this gives the majority of 40 something listeners who are not having sex weekly some solace in knowing that the majority of midlife couples are navigating the exact same dips in frequency and desire. Okay, so the last question we asked is have things changed over time, and if so, why? And midlifers, it all really boils down to the joys of midlife.
Yes. Okay, and there were three major themes. There are clear themes here. The first, exhaustion. So, being tired was a recurring theme, often cited alongside having children, because let's face it, we love them, but they're fucking exhausting, especially the young ones.
Mhm.
Number two was lack of privacy. So, just the presence of children and the associated lack of privacy to get it on.
Yeah, nothing gets my heart rate up than the sound of those creaky floorboards in the middle of the night, right? Like you all
Yes,
know
they're
it. You all know the
coming.
sound I'm talking about.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
coming for you.
Yes. Ugh. And then finally, the big one, hormone shifts that cause things like reduced sex drive or low libido. This was a really big theme. Multiple mentions from our female respondents of, as you said, Julie, perimenopause as a direct cause for just this reduced frequency. So definitely stay tuned for a future episode on this.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that one. Okay. In addition to the data, many of you shared comments, which we love. So, PSA, please keep those coming. One female respondent mentioned that her husband thinks people are having sex constantly. Like it's one big sex party in their bedroom all the time.
Ah.
And she'd love to share the reality with him. So, listener, thank you, thank you, thank you for your comments. And please feel free to tell your husband to tune into this episode so the truth can be heard.
Yes, bring him over. There were a couple other comments, Julie, that I think are just worth sharing here. The first one is, I'm too lazy to get out of bed after sex to pee and wash up. Totally get that. Totally get
Yep.
that.
Yep.
This one said, I like to get in bed early and my partner likes to stay up late. Yeah, like it's really hard to have sex when you're in different rooms. And this last one is great. My vibrator often does a better job.
See, this validates my theory that robots really are taking over the world. And I also feel
Well,
like the I also feel like the P commenter is in my head. It wasn't
yes.
me, but I see you.
Could have been you. It's anonymous. We don't know. We
True,
don't
true.
know.
Okay, let's summarize the key takeaways here. Number one, if you're over the age of 40 and you have kids, you're not the only one that's quote unquote too tired. And it's okay. Safety in numbers, right, Jenny?
Yes, it's very true. And number two, if you think that other couples are having a lot more sex than you are, you can relax because it's likely not true, or your friends are just lying to you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Do what you will with this data, listeners. And remember, Jenny and I are not doctors, statisticians, family therapists, marriage counselors, or neologists.
Okay, Julie, what's a neologist?
Oh, I feel like such a show off. Okay. A neologist is someone who creates a new official word.
Ooh. Okay, like sexpectation.
Bingo.
Yes, we are just sharing the facts and hopefully sparking some healthy conversations with the person that you're intimate with, or maybe less than intimate with these days, with your friends, or maybe no one at all. So you do you, people.
You do you. Yes. Thank you, listeners. And please participate in our next anonymous poll, which you can find on our website, midlifeconfidential.com, and on Instagram at The Real Midlife Confidential. This next one is really juicy. It's
Mhm.
all about your midlife maintenance checklist from Botox to boob jobs and everything in between. We're gathering the anonymous dirt on the cosmetic work that midlifers are actually getting done or Googling incognito, deleting browser history, all the things.
Yes, this is going to be good.
Mhm.
And be sure to follow us here on YouTube and on Instagram at The Real Midlife Confidential so you can find out when all this is available. And until then, keep your secrets safe unless you're telling us.